Hello, everyone. Are you ready to talk about it? Talk about what, you might ask? Talking about dancing through grief, finding healing on the dance floor, the neuroscience of why the body grieves. We're not getting over it, and we are not fixing grief, but we are learning how to move with it so it doesn't have to feel so overwhelming. Welcome back to Psychology on the Dance Floor, the place where we explore the hidden emotional life of R&B urban soul line dancing. I am Dr. Paula, your soul line dancing psychologist, and our special co-host, Yolanda Sample. Hey, Yolanda, how you doing?
Hey there, Dr. Paula. I am doing great. I'm excited about today's topic. It's in depth. So if you're joining us now, you can join the conversation by dropping comments about how you're feeling about the subject. Remember to click like, share, and if you're tuning in on YouTube, remember to subscribe as well.
That is for sure. That is for sure. We need your subscriptions and your likes so we can continue to air this information and hoping that it will help everyone out there that might be going through issues or whatever. And I must make a disclaimer that Psychology on the Dance Floor does not psychoanalyze, diagnose, or treat any illnesses. We are simply having a friendly, informative conversation. So with all that being shared, we often think of dance as celebration, joy, music, connection. But what happens when your season changes from spring to winter? When loss causes us to freeze and to shut down? When we lose a beloved member of our dance family, a line dance legend, an elder who first taught us the electric slide? We're going to talk about that tonight. The whole community grieves, and the dance floor becomes a sacred ground for healing from grief. And you know, Yolanda.
When people hear the word grief, they instantly think of funerals and death. But grief is a lot more than just that.
Yeah.
It can be divorce, relationship breakups.
Yes.
Even your adult children moving away, that whole empty nest syndrome, retirement, because the reality of getting older starts to sink in.
That's for sure.
Maybe you lose your job.
That's for
grieve
sure.
that as well, and even a health or a medical diagnosis.
Yeah.
Grief can happen at any time, during life changes. And it just sits in your body. You feel it in your shoulders. You can feel it in your chest. Sometimes it even shows up on your face as agitation, or you may snap at somebody.
Yeah. Oh, my God. But, why that's what we're talking about tonight. Why do people snap at you when someone passes? They're so angry. So angry.
Yeah. It's a difficult topic, but you're right. Grief and anger go hand in hand. So, if there's any listeners out there and you feel this way, type it in the comments.
Please do. Let me go to the comment section and see what people are talking about, because it's so important to share your thoughts. You may be grieving right now. And I have to say this, not only just over a person, but a job, maybe a pet, maybe a home. A lot of things cause grief. So I would like to talk about the neuroscience of why the body grieves. Oh boy, let me just take you inside the brain and the nervous system for a few minutes, because understanding what's actually happening physically when we grieve and when we dance will help us to understand what our nervous system goes through. There are times that I am going to pause because I am managing so many things here. But let me get myself focused on the message that I want to bring to you, because this is very important. When we experience a significant loss, our brain registers it through the amygdala. This is the sympathetic part of the nervous system that says, alarm, 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 you're in danger. Now you're thinking, when someone passes, you're not in danger, but your brain sees it as danger, activating your stress hormones in your glands, and it floods our body with these hormones, which is cortisol and adrenaline. When this happens, our bodies are in threat response. Now ask yourself, why is that? Well, our bodies felt safe until the threat of danger occurred. And that threat is the loss of an attachment bond. You never really gave that thought. Our loved one, that person, stimulated oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine. They brought joy to your life. And now they're gone, and your brain is saying, oh my God, who's going to give me all those things that I'm used to having? How am I going to do without that? How am I going to live without that? What am I going to do? How am I going to function? The brain expects to see that person which has come to an end. The brain got to catch up to it. The reason why the brain got to catch up to it, because all of your neurons are wired in your brain of that person being a part of your life. The brain gets in a survival state that causes physical pain, shock, anxiety, and disbelief, because attachment bonds are part of the brain's survival. Separation is seen as a threat to survival that triggers your sympathetic nervous system. It is so important to understand that grief is not only conscious, but the body feels everything. Let me pause a second, because that's a lot. Now, here's what's important to understand. The brain, particularly the right hemisphere, because you know we have two sides of the brain. We have the right, we have the left. It processes emotional experiences and your senses and images and, dancing and art. That's this part of the brain. This happens long before the left side of the brain catches up. That's the part of the brain that speaks, that's analytical, that has language, that can make meaning of what is going on. This is why grief so often feels wordless, unspoken. You just can't talk. You're caught up in your emotions. The only thing that you can do is that right side of the brain is to listen to music, is to go for a walk, is to dance, is to write a poem, is to journal. And so this speaks directly to the right hemisphere. It doesn't require us to narrate the grief. It allows the body to feel and express what words can't say. Now, the parasympathetic nervous system, this is our social engagement system. It's where we feel safe, connected, regulated, and present. Grief moves us through all states. In acute grief, we often move between the fight and flight, this electrical, excruciating pain, and the parasympathetic nervous system collapse, the numbness, the flatness, the I can't get out of bed. Healing grief requires us to return gradually with support to your parasympathetic regulation. These are the feel-good hormones, the oxytocin. To a felt sense of safety and connection, and here is where dance becomes profoundly therapeutic. Now, I just want to make it clear, dance is therapeutic. It's a way of expressing yourself and help you to relieve that stress. But I must also say, doing something that's therapeutic is different than going to a therapist. I have to say that. Because while you're dancing, it feels good. When it's over, you still have the problem. So I know I've been doing all the talking, Yolanda. It's so much information and everything. But I just want to go
It is. It's a lot to consume.
Isn't it?
It is. But there's definitely that mind and body connection.
Yeah, it is. It is. And, Miss Terry passed like a month ago, and it really did affect me. And it took me a while to talk about this. But I remember going to her funeral. As you see the pictures on the screen, that's Miss Terry. Miss Terry was 99 years old, and she was a soul line dancer. What do you remember about Miss Terry, Yolanda?
She always had a smile.
Always.
She lit up any room that she walked in.
I'm telling you.
And she showed that dancing is not age affiliated at all.
I'm telling you.
As long as you have breath in your body and you have movement,
that's right.
You can do it. She was truly an inspiration to me.
Oh, yes, she was. She was so much fun. She had such a sense of humor, And I must say, I got to put out there, don't everybody give me a call at once. Miss Terry gave me all of her written dance steps. All the old dances that we probably forgotten all about. I have all the dance steps too. Ooh.
Wow. Well, I would love to take a look at Bad Mama Jamma because
bring some of those dances back.
I learned it from her. Yes, definitely.
So what surprised me, I was crying. I was in my feelings because I'm going to miss talking to Miss Terry on the phone and reminiscing about the good old days of soul line dancing. And I was there crying, trying to get my emotions regulated. And I finally got myself together. And then the guy said, Miss Terry wants y'all to do the Temptation Cha-Cha. I said, what? At a funeral? So they played, oh my God, ooh, what's the name of that song? And we started doing the Temptation Cha-Cha. Yes, Stay by the Temptations. Thank you. And as you can see the picture, we were dancing in front of her casket. And she even had the banner over her casket that hung in downtown Philly in the mall there where they was dancing. And she had that over her casket. And I was dancing until I sat down and I began to cry again. because I just remembered dancing with her and being with her and how it felt. And you know, the dance floor is not just for fun and cardio. I know a lot of young people feel that's what it's for, but it's for so much more. It is when the community comes together to regulate each other, tell stories while dancing. So, Yolanda.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That brings about a few controversial questions.
Mm-hmm.
Is dancing while grieving healing or is it hiding? Are we moving through our emotions or running from them?
Well, you know, I got to say this because I am a clinical psychologist and a dance movement therapist. If you dance and then go home and still allow yourself to feel, that's healing. Because if you don't allow yourself to feel, you can't heal. That's like denying that you don't have no feelings about it. But if you dance every night so you don't have to think about, that might be avoidance. But here's the truth. Most people aren't avoiding, they're surviving. They're trying to find a way to ground themselves to not to fall apart.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. We think about, when we think about the saying, take one day at a time,
Mm-hmm.
dancing allows us to do just that.
Yeah.
It distracts us from grief and it can allow you to heal at the same time.
Yeah.
We're all from very different walks of life and people process things differently.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, dancing is definitely a coping mechanism when it comes to grieving.
I gotta
It's
ask you a
it's a way of
question.
handling things.
And I'm gonna also ask myself that same question. When someone very close to you passes, how do you manage that? How do you regulate your feelings?
It's funny you should say that. I lost a good friend actually last Wednesday,
Oh, I'm sorry to
and
hear
it
that.
hit me like a brick wall.
Oh my
A brick
God.
wall. She was
Sorry.
very young. Well, she wasn't a line dancer, but she was an admirer
Uh-huh.
of line dancing. I also think back to my mother. And when I lost my mother, dancing was the last thing I wanted to do. Now we're going back to 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned earlier about feeling guilty about
Mm-hmm.
dancing while you're grieving.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at her repast, I found myself, the line dancers came out, they supported me
Oh, that's
wholeheartedly.
nice. Yeah.
And at her repast, I found myself dancing. And a part of me felt
Did
guilty
you
because
really?
here I am dancing, but it's what my mother would have
Oh,
wanted.
most
So I
definitely.
had to see it in that way
Yeah.
because her life was one to be celebrated. Even when I think back to Dave Bush's repast,
Uh-huh.
it was at Temptations
Uh-huh.
at a nightclub. So, it was a joyous occasion, although albeit very sad that we had
Mm-hmm.
lost,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
who we had deemed our godfather of line dance.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? Dancing through the pain, it's almost like that saying, laugh to keep from crying.
Right. Exactly.
It's like dancing to keep from wallowing in grief and sorrow,
Mm-hmm.
which can in turn to depression and other clinical, mental health issues.
And I'm the total opposite. And I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm the total opposite. When someone close to me dies, I just want to be by myself. I just want to listen to gospel music. I want to think about them. I just want to be by myself and just try to absorb and understand what all that happened. But some people stop dancing during grief. Sometimes when people are grieving, they disappear, like me. They stop coming because grief can make you withdraw. It can make you tired. It can make you feel like you don't belong in a joyful space. If that's you, if that is you, or if that's someone listening Please hear me. You don't have to feel joyful to show up and dance. Just show up. You can borrow others' joy until yours come back. Yeah.
That's profound.
Yeah.
And you're definitely right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said before, people handle things differently, and you have to pick and choose what's best for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not disrespectful.
Mm,
It's not denial. It's not pretending everything is okay. It's
mhm.
choosing life while you heal. Yolanda, I would like to take a few
Right.
minutes to explain the grief process, if I may. Some of you may already know this.
Mhm.
Grief has been analyzed as pathologized, medicalized. There are psychological diagnostic codes for prolonged grief. The stages of grief involves the initial shock, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance, and processing the grief.
Yeah, but we don't talk enough about how grief changes us. You know, how
Mm,
it changes our walk, it
mm.
changes our posture, our willingness to see and do things. The way your shoulders may curl in, the way
Like
you
mine are
step
right now.
shorter or slower,
Yeah.
right? Even the way you know your gaze might drop to the floor instead of keeping your head up
Mm-hmm.
high,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and how you look straight through people without fully seeing them.
Yeah. Yeah. Grief starts changing us way before we ever notice. So, what I would like to do, another exercise, an 8 count movement. Just 8 counts to express how we feel when we grieve. This is something that you can use or guide others through. Think of it as a mini choreographed template for grief. Yolanda is going to go through the steps. She's going to stand for the people that can stand. I'm going to remain seated because there are some people that are unable to stand, but you can do this sitting down. You can do this alone in your living room or with a small group. Step 1, choose 3 attributes, grief attributes. Instead of thinking in steps, which we soul line dancers always do, think in attributes. The first one, weight. Is your weight heavy? Is it light or is it floating? And you can just think of how you're feeling right now, or you may think of someone that passed and how that makes you feel in this present moment. The weight is heavy, light, or floating. Then there's shape. It's going to be closed, curled, open, expanded, or searching, reaching, reaching. And then there's the tempo, slow, medium, or fast. Pick what matches how you feel now. For example, my weight is feeling heavy. My shape is closed. This is what I'm choosing. And this is my personal kinesphere. And your kinesphere is however long your limbs reaches from your body into the space. That's your immediate space. And as you know with dancing, they're saying, dance in your own space. Quit coming over in my space. And this is where your arms and legs will reach. So now, I prefer a slow tempo. Step 2, we're going to start counting. You don't need complex steps. Use a simple 8-count phase. Counts will be 1 to 4. Move with your weight. I will add music in a minute. So let's just count to 4 however weight your weight is. Mine is heavy. So I'm going to stomp my heels for 4 and counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just a simple 4 count. You may want to drop to the floor or whatever. Then there's counts 5 and 6. Move with your shape. Mine's is closed. So it'll be 5 and 6. So with 1 to 4 and 5 and 6, the count is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we have 7 and 8. Mine's was a slow tempo. Yours may be fast. So my 7 and 8, this is 5 and 6. My 7 and 8, this might be slow. 7 and 8. It just might go out slow. Yours might go out fast. It might be medium. I don't know. So let's just do that 4 count before I put on the music. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Here we go. With some music. You ready? Here we go. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's wait for the beat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I'm getting into the music. I'm getting into the music. So how was that? How did it feel? Did you need more time?
Well, I chose light and airy.
I chose
airy. Free
light
flowing.
and airy. Light and airy.
And open space.
And airy. And you know,
Mm-hmm.
Throughout that 8 count move, you can add a memory gesture. Choose one small gesture that connects you to your grieving. A clap, a glance, a head nod, hand extended, gentle tap over your chest or shoulder, or place the gestures at the end of each phase on count 8, for instance. Now, every 8 count, you'll be visiting your loss in a bite-sized, embodied way. And just halfway through the song, give yourself one full 8 count with no structure. Like with the song Take Me to the Next Phase by the Ozzy Brothers. And as we do that dance, there's a part of dance where everybody just walks around and just walks off. That's what that is. You're just doing your own little thing. That might be just standing still. It might mean crying. It might be a sudden jumping, spinning, walking away from the spot and coming back. Then you return to the beginning of the 8 count. So, Yolanda, girl, I'm telling you. Oh, and before we most important,
the fastest half hour ever.
Make sure you take those 3 deep breaths. Shake out your hands. Place your feet firmly on the ground. If it feels right, say quietly, I have moved with my grief. You're not healed. You're not done. But you're chosen to move in grief in your own way. So, Londa, how was this episode? Did it make you sad? Or did it give an explanation of why the body goes through grief?
For me, it did make me sad. And, when you first proposed the topic, I thought that it would. But it helped me to understand how to deal with grief better and how I can use dance as a component to do that.
Yes.
So, no, it didn't make me sad necessarily.
That's something that we don't think about. I am not a choreographer. I am a teacher and all, but I know that when social dancing do choreography, they're not thinking in attributes. They're only thinking in steps. They're not thinking about the weight or the shape or the tempo. Well, they might sometimes think about the tempo with the different moves that they do, but there's something to think about. So this was a great 30 minutes, and I really do hope that I was of some help and to help you through your grieving. So as we close, I would like for you to understand that dancing through grief is not about turning your pain into performance. It's about letting your body feel and heal. Yolanda, thank you so much for joining us as our special co-host. I look forward to you many seasons.
Absolutely.
And just tell me one more time, where are you teaching? Come on, give it to me.
I teach every Tuesday at Oxford Presbyterian Church at 8501 Stanton Avenue in Philadelphia from 7 to 9 p.m. And our little community, we have a ball. So if you're not doing anything, come on out. Have a good time with us.
I'm going to have to come out.
Hope to see you there.
I'm going to have to come out. I haven't been out dancing in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, Yolanda, I'm 73 years old. Been there, done that. I gave my contributions.
I wonder how I'm not still in the game.
I'm on another.
Oh, yeah. But your contributions that you gave are still being felt. So,
I'm evolving into something else. So I'm contributing this way now. This is what God purposes for me. So until we meet again, remember, choreograph on purpose, teach on purpose, dance on purpose, and live on purpose. But most importantly, have fun. I'll meet you back here on Psychology on the Dance Floor.